Friends of the Risen King, what's up? My name is Enoch, everyone's favorite mediocre rapper. And I am joined, it's my first in studio interview.
Great.
I'm joined with man himself, father, husband of one, father of three now, right?
Yes.
Congratulations. And man, you got so many projects out there that you're doing. I mean, you got the Joy of Faith YouTube channel and the ministry, the website too, right? That you do. You've got the Eucharist movie coming up, right?
Yes.
That's like, I can't wait for that personally.
So, me neither.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
I'm sure you're excited too.
It's crazy to watch this stuff and be like, man, how this will change the world.
Isn't it insane?
Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah. And then you were also, you go to my parish.
I know.
You go to the same parish as me.
Yeah.
I go to the same parish as you. You've been there longer.
So we did a video together.
A long time ago.
On Latin Mass.
Yeah.
You came to Regina Pacis and I was like, we did a video together.
Funny thing, you were walking up the stairs and I'm like, that guy looks so familiar. And then I put the two together. You were the one who put the video together for Latin Mass.
Yes.
So yeah, so then I ended up meeting you, which is really cool. But this is all about you today. We're going to talk about you. We're going to get to know you. And I actually start from the very beginning.
All
so
right.
I'm going to ask you some questions.
Sounds good.
Just answer.
All right.
All right. My first question is starting up very, very young. Tell the viewers what decade you were born in.
I was born in the 90s.
Okay. In the 90s. Early 90s?
Early 90s, yeah.
Okay, cool. So you grew up in the late 90s and early 2000s, usually in high school. Okay, so early on, do you have any siblings?
I do. I have 5 sisters and a brother.
Okay, is that right?
So
I don't even know that.
You didn't know that?
No, I met one of your sisters, but I didn't know you had other siblings.
So shout out to Rob Renzi, who plays Jesus in our movie.
Shout out to Rob. Cool guy.
Awesome. So actually, Rob texted me and he said, Ray, Enoch put you in this rap. And I was like, yeah, I know, it goes to my church. And he was like, what? So
Is that right?
I've known Rob for years.
Okay.
And I didn't know until a couple months ago that he is one of 11 kids, I think it is.
Rob is?
And I was like, what? I didn't even, so it's funny how you can know each other for so long.
That's so funny.
And not know.
Yeah. Rob's Italian, right?
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. He's amazing. So.
All right. So you got siblings. Where did you grow up most of your life?
My dad was in the Army.
Okay.
So moved 9 times in 15 years.
No, man,
which is a good route for people.
Sure.
I actually really enjoyed it. I liked moving a lot because it was always like a new house and exciting. But I would say it is more challenging for building relationships, because a lot of people are like, oh, you're going to be gone in 3 years.
Right.
Why would I get to know you that well? So
okay.
Maybe not so much in the church as in like typical people you meet.
Sure.
Because I know a lot of people that we've known have moved out and we're still, in touch. But
yeah, you can keep in touch. Yeah.
Exactly.
And how long have you been in Kentucky?
Kentucky is kind of where I call home. We're in Kentucky, if you didn't know that.
We're in Kentucky right now. That's right.
Great state.
Yeah.
I think we moved here in 2007. So it's
a while ago. Okay.
Yeah. My dad actually retired out of Fort Knox here.
Cool.
So this is like where I went to high school, all of it, in college and stuff.
Wonderful. So you've been here for a long time. Okay.
Yes.
Good.
As you can tell by my accent.
Yeah. No, I can't tell at all.
I know.
You don't have a Kentucky accent?
No, I don't. Yeah. So that's the funny thing. People are like, you're from Kentucky? And I'm like, no, we moved around a lot, so I don't really have any accent.
That's funny. Okay, so you were born in the 90s, the decade. You moved a lot. You got siblings. Tell us about your childhood. Like, I want to know, what was it like growing up? Like, were you an outdoors guy, like riding bikes and stuff, or like a homebody playing video games and watching TV?
Yeah, so I definitely liked being outside. I actually have this lawn service called Ray's, Rely on Ray. I have these little magnets that I give it up to people at mow their yard and do mulching and stuff like that.
That's hilarious.
So I always like doing that kind of stuff. I'm an Eagle Scout, so would camp and all those things. So always been more outdoorsy. I did not like reading at all. And it's funny because now that you're in this faith realm,
right,
you have to read. That's how you learn things.
That's right. Yeah.
Other than listening to awesome talks, that's also very helpful.
Correct. Yeah.
But Audible's a nice in between because you read a book while you're listening to it.
Right.
But yeah, so I wasn't into that really that much.
So it's interesting. You got to learn to read so you can read to learn. Right.
Did you make that up?
No, I read it somewhere.
Okay.
Something. Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
exactly.
I thought it was good when I first heard it. Yeah, I read it somewhere. So you're an outdoors guy that you ride bikes and stuff with your friends too? Or?
Yeah. I actually rode bikes all through college.
No way.
It's funny. I was actually leading this Bible study my senior year.
Yeah.
And I was like biking to the Newman Center.
Right.
And it was the only time that I felt like flat on my face.
Yeah. Is that right?
Yeah. And I was
No
like,
way.
I immediately thought this is going to be a great Bible study. And it was a great Bible study.
Well,
you know?
You got to go through the trials first.
Exactly.
You got to. Yeah, that's how God gets you.
Yeah. So
that's really cool. All right. So let's move up a little bit. Let's stay when you're young. What was like your go-to breakfast? What was your favorite breakfast growing up?
My dad made these awesome omelets. It was just
Omelets.
egg, ham, and cheese.
Just
really like omelets, yeah.
Okay.
So and he just like I remember for the ACT,
yeah,
he made it the morning of the ACT, and I was like, this is gonna be a great day.
Nice,
you know?
nice.
So I always like that.
Okay.
I like chocolate chip pancakes too. My mom would make chocolate chip pancakes.
Oh, those are the best.
Yeah.
Like chocolate chip melts on. Right?
No, like you mixed it in the batter. And
okay,
so
all right.
Sometimes you make
good.
chocolate chip banana. You like mix in banana into it.
Yeah. That
That's
sounds
really
good.
I know.
Chocolate chip pancake. What about cereal? Did you eat cereal?
I like Lucky Charms and Trix or Twix. It's Trix, right?
It's Trix. Yeah. Silly Rabbit Trix are for kids.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So, and did you were you the crunchy or soggy type of cereal guy?
Oh, soggy all the way.
Soggy all the way.
Literally.
That's what I'm
I
talking
wait
about.
a half an hour to eat my
I
cereal
hear
to
you.
this day.
I hear you. I'm the same way. I like them soggy.
I don't like it crunchy. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's like painful that I'm eating something.
It is painful. Yeah, like when you cocoa pebbles,
Yeah.
they get soggy and it goes in the chocolate milk.
Exactly. And then it's like
It soaks in.
it's like
It's
you
good
get
stuff.
two things out of it.
Yeah.
Right? You get like the cereal, but then like the milk tastes really good too.
Yeah, at the end you get the chocolate milk. That's so cool. Yeah, so we got that in common. What about like growing like TV? Like, what was your go-to Saturday morning cartoon? Did you have one?
You know, I don't really remember that much. I have this weird thing where I don't have a lot of memories before like 12. Like 9/11 was one of my first memories because I was in New York at the time.
You were.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was in Suffern, New York, going to Sacred Heart. I don't know if it was academy or school.
Okay.
But unfortunately, it was just closed down a couple months ago.
Okay.
But that was crazy.
Yeah. So you don't have much memories of cartoons and stuff like that growing up. Okay.
I have pictures of being like Batman and all
Okay,
that,
so you like
and
all
Superman. I got this kind of like curl thing, so it's
like
kind
all
of like
the more the boyish type
Oh, yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's move up to like elementary, middle school. Did you go to public school?
I did.
Okay.
So I went to private school, like the Catholic school, for like 2 years. But other than
You were in
that,
New York, right? What you saying?
yeah, when I was
Okay.
in New York. But other than that, I went to public school like my whole life, and it's funny because I used to think like homeschooling is so weird, except for Tim Tebow because he's awesome. But I was like, why would anyone homeschool? And now that I have kids, I'm like,
homeschooling is the way to go.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Like, there's no other
yeah.
option really, unless there's like a really crazy, awesome classical school. But
Right. Yeah.
yeah, so
Either hard to find or too expensive.
exactly.
Yeah. All right. So you went to public school. Did you play sports in middle school?
I did.
Elementary
So
school.
I played in middle school. I played soccer,
Okay.
and then in high school I played football and lacrosse. I actually got in football because in middle school I was playing soccer, but a lot of the kids on my team, it was like a club team or whatever, they were going out to high school to play football.
Yeah.
And my mom was like, "You're gonna play football because there's no soccer team this year."
Mm.
And at the time I was like 135 pounds, really skinny, like my same height. And I was like, "There's no way I'm gonna play football. I'm too small for that." I'm like, I'm sure my dad's gonna say no. And he loves football. So he was
Right.
like, "Yes, I'm so glad. I've been waiting for you to play football."
Is that right?
So then
Okay.
I really like dove into it.
Yeah.
I gained like 70 pounds over high school of muscle. And
Yeah.
it was crazy. Like that affected me a lot.
What position did you play?
I played safety and outside linebacker.
That's a good position.
Yeah. So I started at corner and then went to safety and outside linebacker because I gained that.
Safety's a tough position.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was tough.
Yeah. Because you get the wide receiver and then you got the person covering the wide receiver, right?
Yep.
And your safety,
Has to like
you're covering
catch any holes.
Yeah, you got to cover one. That's a tough position.
Oh yeah.
It sets you up for kids though, so you can manage a bunch of
Exactly.
kids.
Exactly. I know. Yeah. And then it's funny because I got into lacrosse
Right.
my junior year. We
Okay.
just started lacrosse.
Yeah.
And I was like, I mean, what do I have to lose? I was using it as like conditioning for football,
Right.
So I would still like weightlift for football and then go lacrosse, and that was really awesome.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, back then my identity was like very much sports and working out and all that stuff. Like faith was not a big thing to me
at the time.
all.
Yeah.
Like I went to church and stuff, but it was like,
I think that's similar to a lot of us who
Yeah.
grew up. Yeah. My identity was, I couldn't tell you what it was growing up. It wasn't faith.
Yeah.
Until my early 20s. So I get it. So moving on to to high school, what was your high school experience like? Was it typical, played sports, had friends, girlfriends, went to prom, all that stuff? Or was it kind of like,
it was,
leave me alone, I want to be by myself type of thing?
No, it's funny because a lot of people know me being gregarious and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But in high school, I was really quiet.
Is that right?
Yeah, I was, because I lacked confidence.
Okay.
And because of that, I'm sure there's many reasons related to that, but because of that, I never wanted to say the wrong thing or like step out of line. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like the classic desire to just like fit in and be cool and all that stuff. Like you're on the team, don't be a nerd or whatever. Just be like everyone else.
That's funny. You were very calculated in what you're going to say to make sure that it was the right thing to say.
Exactly.
So people would like you. Yeah. I think that's a lot of our experience growing up too. We were so insecure, and then you get older and you don't care. You just say it, yeah.
Well, it's funny because my grandpa, who was amazing, he's my greatest mentor. Unfortunately, he died last August on the Feast of St. Augustine.
Okay.
And or two Augusts ago.
Sure.
But he was like, Ray, you should talk to people because everyone wants to talk. And if they don't want to talk, someone else will want to talk. The next person.
Yeah.
So that really changed in college. I really bloomed in that way, I guess you could say. And that was really awesome.
That's really cool. Between you and Ben, shout out to Ben, the cast, you guys like the welcome committee in our parish.
Yeah, well, I love it because, I was like the OG Latin Mass group.
Yeah?
I started going to Latin Mass 11 years ago.
Okay.
So before Taylor Marshall or anyone was talking about it, I was going. And I was kind of...
You're paving the way for all of us.
Well, I was kind of voluntold to go, so to say.
Yeah.
I was staying with this family. They were housing me for the summer, and they were like, hey, you can go to whatever Mass you want, but we got an open seat if you want to ride with us. And I was like, sure. So I went, and I had no clue what was going on. My first Mass, I was like, the priest wasn't facing me, and I couldn't understand it. I was like, is this even Catholic?
Yeah.
Which is such a funny thing.
Right.
But and then we had this Protestant girl that went to Latin Mass one time, and she was totally lost, and I was like, look, I've been Catholic my whole life, and I'm just as lost as you, so don't feel bad. But over time, it really grew, and it changed everything. My GPA went up 0.2 points from going to Latin Mass because I actually had to read and follow along. It was awesome.
So it changed.
Oh yeah. Wow. Just following along in the missal really helped my comprehension and my focus.
I didn't know that.
So it had such a positive
that makes a lot of
on
sense.
my academics.
Because I know it shapes the conscience, but I guess the hyper focus makes sense too. Wow.
Look at your average kid at a parish, right?
Yeah.
Compare English Mass and Novus Ordo. I go to both, so I see both.
Yes, right.
And it's very stark. My wife, when she first went to Latin Mass, she was like, I was shocked at the kids. I look behind me, and there's this 4-year-old that's just watching, or reading. It
does, yeah. It does create a disposition in the person so they can really be focused. Because I guess when you walk in, from my experience, this is not all the Novus Ordo parishes, because some of them do a great job. But my experience, when you walk into a Novus Ordo parish, it's almost like a meet and greet before Mass starts. Mm-hmm. So when the kid walks in and see people talking, he thinks, I should just talk. It's okay to talk. But you walk into a TLM parish before Mass starts, it's very quiet. It's very reverent, very solemn. I think the child understands it's quiet time.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, I think it does.
And I think that's part of what led me into being the welcome committee. Because when I'd see someone at Regina Pacis in downtown Lexington at the time,
right,
and they didn't have a missal, I would be like, here's a missal, this is where we're at. And I'd kind of walk them through the Mass, before I was married and had kids.
Right.
So that was helpful for some people, and I'd always want to get together after Mass and things like that.
Right,
so it's really been such a blessing.
You know what's cool about that? You were I was standing in the back of Mass, because nowadays we can't sit at Mass anymore. That's how packed our Mass is now. Our parish, and everybody in TLM is having that issue. I'm standing in the back, and Mass was pretty much over, and I'm saying 3 Hail Marys at the end before I leave. And you came in, and you kind of popped your head in and said, "Hey, Fwas, I gotta go, but so and so are new here. Make sure you say hi to them before you leave." And I was like, I've been delegated.
Yes.
It was so cool. It's like I've been delegated by the welcome committee to welcome people into the parish.
I remember that.
Yeah, that was so cool. Yeah, I was like, man, that's so great that you and Ben and just got into an opportunity where you make people feel so welcome at the end of Mass. And I've seen you go from one person to the next, and you talk to people that you know, and you try to give your time and attention to a lot of people. Was that how it was in college too? Did you start that in college, or?
Yeah, I think so. I've maybe it's because like for so long, like a lot portion of my life, I was like that person that wasn't being spoken to or engaged upon.
Sure.
So I've always tried to do that, especially like with this faith lens. It's like, almost like St. Paul says, to be like all things to all men, right?
Right.
So to be there and like be able to almost make everyone feel like they're part of something, because they are part of something. It's just like so often it's hard to talk to everyone. So whenever we have parties, right, I'm like trying to facilitate like discussion and like, hey, you should go say hi to this person. And sometimes that's like literally how I say it, like, hey, can you go talk to them? Because like no one's talking to them right now. And you know what I'm saying? These are things that I think, especially as Christians in social settings, whether it's Catholic or not, to reach out to, as Pope Francis would say, like the margins, right?
Yeah.
Because that's essentially like, I think of so many people that probably left the church because they were like, this is so foreign to me. I don't know anyone.
Right.
This isn't my family.
Right.
What a difference that would make.
Right.
And
that's not how it is in Regina Pacis. Is it a Kentucky thing?
Oh no, not at all.
No. Okay.
I was actually, shout out to Ben. Him and I were talking about another church in the diocese where they're like really struggling. And I was just talking to someone last week who works for Focus in this diocese, and they're like, we're trying to build this organically because a lot of parishes after Mass, people just run out.
Is that right?
And it's really sad.
So it's our parish thing.
Oh, yeah.
Because everybody that I know, any family that comes to our parish that's there for the first time, they come back the next week. And I think it's majority reason is because of the fact that they, were drawn into the community after Mass, and we're all outside talking, and they just, wives are talking to the wife, and then the husband's talking to all of us.
And the kids are playing.
And the kids are playing outside, getting yelled at by Father Fisher, rightfully so, because the parking lot's right there. The kids getting run over. But yeah, I think you're right. I think it is our parish. That goes to show you, like, TLM communities are very welcoming.
Oh yeah,
we get a bad stigma, I think.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I know it's really unfortunate, and like what I really want to do is, because I'd love to be involved with every parish in the diocese to try to like help foster that. But at the end of the day, what it comes down to is like the reverence of the liturgy, because no matter what parish it is, like I went to Steubenville, and after Mass, it was an awesome Novus Ordo. It was just like that. Like reverent liturgy promotes community after it. I don't know if it's the people that it draws, or because there isn't any social time during the Mass, there has to be an after Mass.
That's a good point. Yeah, we don't have the sign of peace.
We don't.
I've seen some people put these big conferences together in like stadiums, and this Sunday liturgy, and they get like 4,000 people in one area, and the sign of peace is like there's just one gigantic party, and I'm just like I'm cringing for a second,
I know. It's so one of my least favorite things is when I go to weddings, right? And it's like the sign of peace, and all you hear for like 2 minutes is like, they're slapping each other on the back and like congratulating the group, and I'm like, this is just so ordinary.
Right? You forget why we're there.
Yeah.
That's so cool. All right, so in high school, you play football still, right? You play in lacrosse. And what about watching sports? Did you get a chance to watch?
Oh yeah.
So let's move on to sports. Let's talk about sports.
So okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Like what did you watch?
I was a huge Eagles fan, but I knew
baseball.
No.
I'm sorry, football.
Yeah, NFL.
Philly. Okay.
So at the time, I was in Louisville, Kentucky. So I was like a Cardinals fan.
Okay.
I went to the University of Kentucky, which is the Wildcats. So then I was shamed for like 2 years.
Sure.
And then I just like didn't really care about sports after that, because I studied engineering in college, so I couldn't follow sports like I did.
Okay.
Like literally every single day, I would watch like 2 or 3 hours of ESPN. That's how bad it was.
2 or 3 hours.
Exactly.
Just trying to catch up and all
Yeah.
that. Okay.
Isn't that terrible? So because like I had no faith or anything like that was drawing me to do anything.
Right.
I would just play like Madden or FIFA and like watch stuff during the summer. So I knew all about like Chad Johnson when he was on the Bengals and all these things like that.
That's right.
And Terrell Owens, all these people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I knew all the statistics, all the players, like everything, but like didn't even know the difference between mortal and venial sin.
Right.
So that's where I definitely encourage people that are like into sports. Like sports are not inherently bad by any means.
No.
But to moderate yourself, especially on Sundays when people that I don't have time to go to mass on Sunday, but I just watched 6 NFL games, something like that.
Right. Okay. So you like football? Did you like basketball at all too?
Just college basketball.
Just college. Okay.
With the University of Louisville.
Okay.
Because that's where Tina was there, and they won national championships.
Sure. And Kentucky's got a great college basketball team.
Oh yeah, they do.
UK has been.
My freshman year of college was when we won the first national championship, and then we won another one.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So
I was the only sober person on the campus.
Only sober person?
Yeah, other than the SWAT guys. Like, because there was at State Street, the SWAT was there because like there were thousands of people there, and they were burning couches, and so like it was so interesting to see people get shot with tear gas and stuff.
That's hilarious.
And there's just like a line of people getting arrested.
Right.
It was crazy.
Right. So you don't have like a whole torch and.
No.
So were you around when Anthony Davis was playing for you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I worked at Raising Cane's, and he went in and bought chicken from me.
Is that right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Tall. Huh?
Oh yeah, he was tall. I saw him several times on campus too.
Okay.
But it was funny because everyone was like freaking out because he was like there. Like the workers were like, "Oh, can you sign my thing?" And I was like, "I see him like various times on campus."
Right.
So it's just funny now because he's like, such a big deal.
He's a big deal now. Yeah. He was a big deal when he came in.
Mm-hmm. I think we're the same age.
You guys are?
I think so.
I wouldn't doubt it. Yeah.
Maybe he's a year younger than me. I don't know.
Yeah, he's a pretty young guy. So continuing on with TV, let's pop culture. So your high school and college were by what year? Like in the mid 2000s, or mid 2000s? Mid 2000s.
Like late 2000s.
Late 2000s.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you watch anything as far as like TV shows or?
Yeah.
Did you get any of that reality stuff at all?
I didn't really get into any of that.
Me neither. Yeah.
Yeah, I was never really into that.
It's funny.
I don't know if because my parents were like pretty strict with what we watched. Like we never really watched MTV or anything like
Good
that.
parents. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I don't remember like really being like into anything. 24 was a great show. Kiefer Sutherland. I really liked American Idol. That was fun to watch. That was kind of like our family bonding thing.
So for the family, you guys, you texted 4477.
Yeah, exactly. So we always enjoyed doing that. That was kind of like a liturgy in some way. That was like a common thing that we did together.
Okay.
At that time, we never really said a daily rosary. Now they do. It's great. But
okay.
So that was like a really bonding thing that we did as a family.
That's good. And it builds virtue in a way. When TV is used correctly, because I think Father Nolan, our new priest, he gave a great homily last week.
Mm-hmm.
Really intense homily. And he talked about how there's certain virtues that we only build by having the opposite vice or the opportunity to perform that virtue.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when it comes to television, it's the same thing. It's very difficult to build virtue for TV. It's very difficult to say no to it if you don't get a chance to moderate it and build that virtue to it. Yeah, so I think with the family all together, watching a show every once in a while, I think it could be a virtuous thing for the children.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely, I've always liked movies. Like I was super big into the Marvel stuff at that point, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's gone so crazy that, like, I watched that Quantumania movie.
Yeah.
It was so terrible, man. It's just like, it's just so disappointing because like it was. I thought it was really awesome at a point.
Sure.
So it's crazy to see something like crash and burn so fast.
So, continuing on with pop culture, let's talk about movies. So, sports, you were a big football guy.
Yeah.
College basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Baseball too, you said.
No, not baseball.
Oh, okay. Not baseball.
I actually kind of didn't like baseball because I was so bad at baseball. Because up in New Jersey, baseball's the thing.
You left a bad taste in your
mouth. Yeah, I was like, no, I'm not. So I was never into that at all.
So, movies. Do you have a favorite actor? of all time?
Christian Bale used to be my favorite actor,
Christian Bale, okay,
but
great actor.
he's so terrible. Like,
He's
offers things to say and stuff.
He's a bad person.
So who would I say?
Good actor though.
Great actor.
Yeah.
I really like Chris Hemsworth. He doesn't talk about politics or anything.
Yeah.
And he's married still. He has 3 kids. So
Okay,
I like that.
that's good.
I like Denzel Washington's a great actor.
Denzel's
and he seems
fantastic.
virtuous.
Top 10.
I like Tom Holland because I do like Spider-Man. Like
Yeah.
the new Spider-Man, I thought was really good. I know
Right.
some people dog on it, but it
Sure.
was awesome.
Sure.
Those are probably. I like Mark Wahlberg as an actor.
Okay.
It's fun to see him do hallowed promotions too.
Yeah, it is, huh?
So,
yeah, he's promoting the faith a lot in the social media.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
Him and Mario
guy.
Lopez, huh?
I know.
Yeah.
I also really like Mario Lopez.
Yeah,
I think he's great.
That is actually my my New Year goal, for 2023, is to get my music to in his ear.
No way.
I'm trying to figure out how to get, because he's Catholic.
Wow.
He likes rap, so I'm thinking maybe I can get, maybe if you can listen to some of my stuff.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I'd love to get my Lopez.
Funny story about Mario Lopez. I don't know him personally. If I did, I'd love to connect you. But so when I started doing all this YouTube stuff, I looked up Mario Lopez.
Right.
Because he had a video
AC
on,
Slater is what I call him, right?
Oh,
yeah.
That's awesome. I wonder how he'd react to that now.
Yeah, AC Slater.
But I heard that Mark Wahlberg, like if people call him Marky Mark on set,
he gets upset.
Yeah. Because my aunt works out there. That's what she heard from her. But regardless.
Yeah. So you're saying Mario Lopez.
Oh yeah. So he did a video on being Catholic. And this was like 6 years ago, before Hallow or any of this stuff existed.
Wow.
And he was talking about the Muertos Day and stuff. So I was like, that's not really Catholic,
Right.
But it was interesting to hear like his take on it. Like it's. I don't know him personally, so I don't know what his faith understanding is.
Sure.
But I'm happy to see people in that area promote it.
I think he's always on Ash Wednesday. Him and Mark Wahlberg are very vocal. I've noticed.
Yeah.
On Ash Wednesday, yeah. So I think he's your typical Nova Soto Catholic.
I'd love for him to go to Latin Mass and get his opinion.
I think he'd like it.
Mark Wahlberg.
I think he'd like it. Yeah, because Kevin James does.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another good actor.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Good guy. All right. So, favorite movie? Give me your top 5.
Okay.
You got top 5?
My All American. If you haven't seen that movie, you need to get it.
My All American.
My All American. It's made by the same people that made Rudy.
Okay.
Phenomenal movie about a Catholic, true story.
Never heard of it. I'll check it out.
Great movie.
Thank you.
The next one is I Still Believe.
Heard of that one?
It's a really good. It's like the Kendrick brothers or something like that. So it's a Christian movie, but it's super well done. It's got KJ Apa, who's a well-known actor or something.
Okay.
But man, that's such a good movie. After that's The Count of Monte Cristo.
Oh yeah.
With Jim Caviezel.
Oh yeah.
That movie, and I Still Believe. When I watched those movies for days after that, I thought about the movie.
Yeah.
It was just so awesome.
I love that movie. It's a good movie.
I'd have to say probably fourth is the Spider-Man, the new Spider-Man.
The new one.
It's just so nostalgic for me because I literally went to the midnight premiere of Spider-Man 3 with my dad, and that was such a bonding moment. I was 16.
That was with Tobey Maguire.
That was Tobey Maguire, yeah. So, yeah, it's funny because I used to geek out and look into all these actors and stuff because I didn't have any I went to church and stuff, but I didn't care about the faith. It didn't mean anything to me.
Sure.
So now I do that with the faith, So I'm what the focus is shifted, in a properly ordered way. So, and then probably number 5. I don't know what number 5 would be. Maybe The Blind Side. That was a really good movie.
The football movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good. That was a good movie. Is that with Sandra Bullock?
Yeah, she's probably my favorite actress.
Sandra Bullock.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was great. Remember her in Speed?
I never saw that movie.
You never saw Speed?
No.
Keanu Reeves?
Maybe I saw part of it.
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves seems really awesome.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the John Wick movies.
I know you're telling me about that.
Yeah.
Did you see the newest to it?
I saw the last one.
Was it good?
Just as good as the last two.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was fantastic. I'd say 1 and 4 are my favorite ones.
Okay, so we need to get us together with Eddie and some of the other guys and watch all the John Wick
We should
movies.
have a John Wick marathon.
Yes.
Yeah. We should.
I don't think any of us have seen
We
it.
should live stream it so that people can join us from their home.
Copyright infringement or something.
Exactly. Yeah, that'll probably happen. Yeah, we get shut down. So you like movies? Because we were just talking about. You just said something interesting. We were having dinner, and we were talking about the fair, and you said, "Tell me what you said. That's true." You said the fair is the only thing that's left in existence that unites generations.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like think about the demographics at a fair.
Right.
It's like everyone. It doesn't matter if they're like 2 or 100.
Yeah, so true.
Everyone's together.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
if you go to a
that's so
church,
true.
that's not the same thing. If you go to a concert, that's not the same
I
thing.
didn't think about that.
But the fair, every age is there and everyone's having a good time.
Yeah, yeah.
I love that. I just think that's so great. Like
Right.
there's one coming up in Madison Station.
Yeah.
And it's like on a billboard on one of these roads, and I was like, man, we should probably go, because I always love seeing that. And like the boys get so excited. It's just like
the kids
cotton
had a good
candy.
time. Yeah.
Love cotton candy. You know?
All the fried foods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Deep fried Oreos. I love deep fried.
Yeah, I'm there. Let's do it. And then we talk about how the movie theater is also still like
exactly.
That. It's one of the only things that still unite so many.
I tell you what, it's so fun to go to a movie theater and watch a movie and then look back and there's someone like 70 years old behind you.
Yeah.
They're like both laughing at the same thing.
Is that cool?
You know?
Yeah.
And it's just
really
like,
cool.
wow.
Yeah.
So
we were just there a couple months ago. We saw Mario, my family and I.
Yeah.
I saw the Mario.
I know.
Yeah.
I gotta go see it.
You got to. Yeah, you got to.
Did you see Nefarious?
I did see Nefarious.
How was it?
That was good.
I gotta go see
It
it.
was good. It was very good.
I was wanting to go see it, but it was a crazy time.
Highly recommend Nefarious. Check out Nefarious. They did a good job. Yeah. I didn't know who the actor. The actor looked familiar to me. And then finally, who was it? It was Trad Men podcast. Shout out to Trad Men. Really cool guys. They interviewed the main actor.
Yeah.
And I finally found out who he was. One of my favorite movies growing up was The Boondock Saints.
Oh yeah.
And he's one of the Boondock Saints.
No way.
Yeah, he's just a little bigger now, older.
Yeah.
But he's one of the brothers.
Yeah.
In the Boondock Saints. So I was like, that's who I was watching.
That's
I
awesome.
couldn't put it together. So sticking with now, let's move on to music.
Mm-hmm.
I think what everybody wants to know is who's your favorite Catholic rapper.
Oh man, that's a hard one.
Just,
Can I give you my top 5?
give me your top 5. Yeah. Can you find 5?
I met Father Stan one time.
Yeah. Oh, he's the OG.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, he's the GOAT.
So, I mean, you're definitely my number one. You're the only one that I have on my phone that work out.
That's funny. Yeah. No, I asked that question to all my interviews.
No, that's good. That's good.
It's a little fun thing. But let's know music for real. Like, what's your style of music? What
so, when I was in high school, I loved Lil Wayne. I loved B.O.B.
Oh, so you like rap?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It's funny because my sister,
Yeah.
who is Matthew Kelly's videographer.
Matthew Kelly
Yeah.
from...
Like, you know Matthew Kelly, like the Catholic?
Oh, yeah.
So
Dynamic
she's
Catholic, right?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So she used to like have my iPod, right?
Yeah.
We used to have iPods, right?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
she'd like play it on. And she'd be like, "This is rap? No, this is crap." You know?
Is that what she said?
Yeah,
That's so cool.
It was so funny, but so I like that. I love Drake,
Okay.
T-Pain, all of them.
Yeah.
You know?
Eminem guy too.
Oh yeah, I loved Eminem.
Yeah.
Man.
Okay.
A lot of their lyrics are just so terrible, right? But Eminem especially is such a good lyricist. It's amazing to hear him, and you're like, wow, you know.
Yeah.
Even like what's that New York song? Like in New York.
Is that Jay-Z?
Yeah.
Jay-Z and Alicia Keys.
That is such a well-written song. Like the
Yeah.
lyrics on that are amazing. But it's so.
Yeah.
That was the thing, is I loved listening to that. In college, I got really big into dubstep because that was like super big in the party scenes and everything like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I can't listen to like any of the songs anymore because they all have F words in it and all this like terrible stuff. It's like so bad. I listen to it and I'm like, wow, that is like so bad. You know?
Right. Yeah.
Like Soulja Boy, like
all
so bad.
The content is so horrible.
Yeah.
But the skill is so great.
And the sound is so awesome and the beats are so great. It's
yeah.
You're like so pumped.
They know how to get you.
Like the Lil Wayne song that I used to play before every game.
Which one? Yeah.
Like the Pick the World Up song.
Oh yeah.
That's a terrible song.
It's a horrible song. It's funny because I think in the secular world, in the mainstream rap world, Eminem's top 3 greatest lyricists of all time. There's some underground artists I think are better.
Yeah.
But in the mainstream, like out where you know, it's for me, you know, him, Nas, like those are my 2 top guys lyrically, and their ability to bend words and to come up with double entendres with word, you know, it's a shame that they have this talent and they're just talking about nothing.
I know.
It's like, what are you talking about?
I know.
But the hooks are so catchy and it sucks you in. And next thing you know, your subconscious is picking up the words.
Oh yeah.
And it's
And that's why I love your music because it's like so great.
Right. I'm trying to do the same thing they're doing.
Yeah.
You know, it's like some catchy words, some good beats, but in your face Catholic, you know, with some pretty good multi-syllable lyricism too. So, yeah. But what about like other genres?
Actually, so on that, there's so many people that I said, like, for once a Catholic rapper, and they're like, okay, like that's kind of lame, right?
Right. Yeah.
And then I'm like, he's actually really
the same thing if I heard that too.
Right?
Yeah.
But it's really good. So I'm a fan.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah. We were at your house and we did an interview on your channel.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you doing that.
Yeah.
Thank you. That was a lot of fun. We're talking about music.
That was awesome.
And then like, what about like other genres that you like? What about now? Like, what do you listen to now?
Now all I listen to is Roy and Chant and One Direction. I'm just kidding. I don't.
That's like one. To the it's like
I know.
the most opposite thing.
I know. Isn't that funny? I always joke and say that. I actually used to listen to One Direction when I was dating this girl because she really liked them, and my sisters also liked them.
Yeah.
But obviously they're not together anymore. But
that's hilarious.
But they had a lot of good like fun songs. So like I listen to like I like a lot of like 80s songs.
Okay.
I like a lot of my parents' songs, like Bryan Adams. He's awesome.
Bryan Adams.
Journey. Good. I love Journey.
Journey's great.
So I like a lot of songs that are just like uplifting and like, you know, can like move you in the right direction, you know?
Right. Okay.
Especially like when you're doing dishes or like something that you don't want to do, that you can't like listen deeply.
Right. You want something that puts you in the light mood. Yeah. Clean up song with the kids, right?
Exactly.
Get them going,
But it's terrible, like you got like Alexa or something, and you're like, play this song. And then they play that song, and then like right after that is like a terrible song. Like how many times do I have to say like Alexa stop before the F word is about to be said? It's like ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know?
Kids pick up on that. Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, I haven't heard that.
Oh, thank God. Yeah. Alexa stuff. All right, so moving on to let's pause for a second and play a quick game.
Okay.
It's called This or That.
All right.
So I'm just gonna say this or that, and you just gotta answer quickly.
All right.
All right. Start. Pancakes or waffles?
Pancakes.
Cash or credit?
Cash.
History or science fiction?
Science fiction.
All right. Fantasy or drama?
Fantasy.
Your ability to travel without a passport or ability to read minds?
Ability to read minds.
That's what you want.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Taco or burrito?
Burrito.
Okay. Shopping in store or online?
Online.
All right. Shower or bath?
Shower.
Okay. Avocado toast or avocado smoothie?
Avocado toast.
All right. Say, why are you sleeping? A fan or no fan? Like
no fan.
Okay. Right. Football or baseball?
Football.
Sneakers or trainers?
Sneakers.
Sushi or ramen?
Ooh, sushi.
Okay. Live in LA or New York?
LA.
Chicken nuggets or chicken fingers?
Chicken fingers.
Cupcakes or donuts?
Donuts.
Nice. Same here.
We got some good donuts in Georgetown.
Kentucky's got good donuts.
I know.
I'm impressed.
I'm surprised.
Yeah. Hotel or Airbnb?
Hotel.
Okay. Ice cream in a cone or a cup?
Cup.
Chocolate or vanilla?
Vanilla.
Call or text?
Call.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, I hate texting.
Is that right? That's very rare.
Oh, yes.
Most people just want to text.
Well, so I like texting because it's efficient, but I like calling because it's human.
And you can get it's hard to get your message through on text. Some things get lost.
Oh yeah. It's being a parent now. I much prefer texting, but like before, I would not want to text. Actually, I couldn't text. Like when I was growing up, we did not have texting, and I remember saying, "Mom, I'm never going to get a girlfriend if I can't text."
Right. It makes sense, right?
It's like
everyone's texting nowadays. Yeah, it's like sending a note when email came out.
Yeah.
So it doesn't. Yeah.
I know.
All right. Have a vegetable garden or a home theater?
Home theater.
Okay. Live on a farm or in a forest cabin?
A farm.
Surfing or kayaking?
Kayaking.
Chess or checkers?
Chess.
You play chess? Me too. We should play.
We should.
Yeah. Hot dogs or corn dogs?
Hot dogs.
Italian or Indian food?
Italian.
Okay. Burger or steak?
Steak.
Movie night or date night?
Date night.
You like to go out?
Oh yeah.
Okay, nice. Homeschooling or classroom learning?
Homeschooling.
Okay. Sandwich with crust or no crust?
Crust.
With crust. Okay. Thanks for playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good game.
Yeah, it's good fun. Nova Soda or TLM?
Eastern Rite.
There you go.
I'm just kidding. I was actually just texting my friend, and I was like, man, I wish we had more Eastern Rite churches here, because
there's one, right?
not in Union with Rome.
Oh,
It's
not,
Orthodox.
oh, it's
Yeah.
Orthodox.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay.
So
Cincinnati
Ben was actually looking there.
Is that right? He did tell me that.
So my brother-in-law is Melkite, and he loves it. He said, Ray, I always wanted to be a part, like I always wanted to feel at home in the Nova Sordo.
Yeah.
And I couldn't. I always wanted to feel home with Latin Mass, and I couldn't.
Sure.
When I went to the Melkite, I was home.
Okay.
And I was like, that's awesome.
That's cool. Yeah, why not?
Because one of the saddest things that I've seen in the church, in like this is not going to blow your mind, but I went to a some sort of other rite church in Orlando when I was down there. And it was like chanting in Syriac and stuff. It was awesome.
Sure.
And this guy walked in, obviously not knowing that it wasn't a Roman Catholic church. And I had to go to the bathroom at one point, so I went to the bathroom, and he was like, I'm going to go with him. And we were in the bathroom, and he was like, man, that was crazy. I'm never coming back to this place. And he's like, I'll find another church, and just like drove off. And I was like, how sad that we are so used to liturgy in our own language and knowing everything that when we go to something that is more transcendent and foreign to us, we can't even have the patience to like persevere through it.
Right, yeah.
It's like,
because that was your experience with the Latin Mass at first.
Yeah, exactly.
You were lost. You said the Protestant girl next to you was lost too.
Yeah.
You were both lost. Yeah.
Exactly.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So that I think it's really going to take a lot to change that.
Yeah.
Because why would I go to something I can't understand?
Right.
Yeah. So that's another conversation.
Yeah. No. Okay. So let's talk about Eros, which is one of the Greek, the different types of love, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Eros is romantic love. You're married. 3 children now.
Yep.
How long have you been married
now? 7 years.
7 years. Okay. Wow.
I'll be 8 in like a month.
Okay, so you guys are over the hump.
Oh yeah.
You're good to go forever now.
Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's good.
Marriage is the best thing ever.
It is.
I love marriage.
I agree.
I'm like, man, I wish everyone knew how awesome marriage was.
Yeah.
Because so many people would be married.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like I look at my single friends and I'm like, you don't know what you're missing out on. Just
what are
like,
you doing?
take the
Yeah.
leap,
What are you doing with your life?
Yeah. Well, I think it's a little deeper than that sometimes.
Sure.
Like that was my initial thought.
Yeah.
But a lot of people have a lot of baggage and stuff. But I heard a great thing from Matt Pratt, right? He was saying, if you wait till you're perfect to get married, you're never going to get married.
Sure.
And I was like, that's a great point, because so many people having the virtue to realize that like you're not going to marry a perfect person, you know. So like, God will give you the grace.
Right.
But going to your question.
Yeah. So, where did you meet your wife?
We're writing a book on it. I have like
You are?
53 chapter names for it. Yeah. So hopefully we'll make a movie out of it someday, because it's an amazing story.
Tell us.
Oh, it's like 45 minutes long, so I can't tell you. I told you how we met.
Never heard.
Oh, really?
No. Maybe tell me off of this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Long story short, we met through our grandparents.
Okay. Your grandparents?
Yeah. And so funny thing, I was talking to an Indian priest to get marriage prep, and I told him how we met. And he said, it's funny, in my country we have arranged marriages too. I think he was just joking, but that's a cliffhanger. You know?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah. So, I'm going to write a book. That's cool.
Yeah. So I haven't actively been writing the book in like 2 years, but I sat down because like I've been working on this movie and this YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Because this YouTube channel, like, this was not something I work full time, so this wasn't something that I was like, this is going to be my revenue driver. You know?
No, that's right. Yeah, because you do work full time. So, can you tell us the proposal story or no?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Tell us how you proposed.
So I was up in New Jersey. Anne Marie, my wife, is from New Jersey, and I'll tell you actually 2 stories. So
yeah, please do.
The first one was how I got to New Jersey, because it was crazy. I worked for Marathon Petroleum in their refinery, like doing engineering stuff, and it was awesome. I was making $30 an hour as an intern. Believe that? Unbelievable. There's so much money in oil. But so I did that. I worked at a 3M company, so I had like a pretty good resume.
No, this is New Jersey?
Well, I was working at Marathon in Kentucky, but
Oh.
so in preparation to going to New Jersey, I was like, I've got a good resume and stuff like that.
Because $30 an hour in Kentucky can get you a long way.
Yeah, I know.
New Jersey, not much. But
Not as much,
Kentucky.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, I needed a job up there,
Right.
you know, and I drove up there for one of Amber's roommates' graduations or whatever. Was searching for a job, and I'd been applying for jobs for 9 months, and nothing was working out. I had my uncle who was like reached out to the head of recruiting for Honeywell, and just nothing was working out.
Yeah.
I'd applied to so many jobs, and I was like, "What is going on, God? Like, is this you telling me that I'm not supposed to pursue Anne Marie?" You know. So it was like one of the hardest times in my life for sure.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to like discern this. And the day my mom called me one morning and she's like, "Ray, you got to leave. You're just like kind of chasing this." And I was like, because it's going to look terrible on your resume if you don't have a, you know.
It's a big gap, right?
Yeah, big gap.
Yeah.
So I was the day before, I said, all right, if I don't get a job by Anne Marie's sister's wedding, I'll come home. And the day before the rehearsal dinner, I was looking for jobs, and like the Holy Spirit was like, "Ray, Google steel companies," because I was like a materials engineer.
Sure.
And so I look up steel companies, and I just cold call these companies. I'm like, "Hey, my name's Ray. I studied materials engineering. Do you have an internship?" And they were like, "Do you want paid or unpaid?" And I was like, "Well, paid." You know.
Obviously.
So I got 23 no's and 2 yeses. And the hours before the rehearsal, I was having the interview, and then I ended up getting that job. So I was so pumped. It's like, thank you, God. I drove up. I went up there. I started working. The day after I started working, I bought the ring for Anne Marie. And they were like, "So how long have you been working?" Because they had to put on the application, like, what your job was. And they were like, "So how long have you been working there?" And I was like, "Well, yesterday was my first day."
One day.
And they were probably like, "This guy's going to, like, default on his
Yeah.
So I got the ring. It was awesome.
Wonderful.
I proposed to Anne Marie on the day on my grandma's birthday, because she's the reason we met.
Okay.
I proposed at a grotto of Our Lady of Lourdes. I built a fountain, like 3 fountains, one for like God and one for us. Because we always say like so much like geometrically and in reality, like we're like a triangle. God's here and the spouses are here.
Sure.
The closer we get to God, the closer we get to each other.
Right.
So like he
That's
can
really
communicate things we can't, right?
Right.
And so I proposed
It's
there.
got Sheen's thing, 3 to get married.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I didn't take it from that, although I listened to him a bunch.
Sure.
Like Sheen, Bishop Sheen is like my father in faith. Without him, there's no way I'd be where I am.
Oh yeah, she's great. She's awesome. Yeah.
So when he becomes a saint, he'll be my favorite saint. Because remember that
Absolutely.
video of where he says like down with the police and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I was the one that clipped that first.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I didn't
Like
know that.
right in the summer of like 2020 when all the BLM stuff was happening.
No way.
I clipped that. It got like 500,000 views in like a month or something like that.
That was on YouTube.
And then
channel.
other people shared it. Like I found it in one of his talks, and I literally cut out some of the spaces because he takes a lot of spaces. And it's funny because people would just like take that,
Yeah.
you know. And I was like, it's whatever, you know.
So you were the originator of that.
Yeah.
There you go, folks. See, I'm maybe you're the right person. That's really
Yeah.
cool.
So because I've listened to all of his talks, and so
Yeah. Do you have the sheet app? Did you end up paying for this?
oh yeah,
I paid the $8. Is that what it was?
Yeah, it's totally worth it.
Yeah, absolutely. You get, and it's all like categorized. Right?
yeah, and like it has so many talks that aren't on YouTube.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah. He was a masterful catechist.
oh, he's amazing.
One of the best. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Him and Father James, Father John Harden.
Yeah.
Both of them.
I haven't heard of it all.
Yeah. Both of them were great. So you go on. So you got the ring.
Yep.
And then
I went to so she went to the College of St. Elizabeth, which is a college that's run by nuns.
oh, nice.
And I asked them, can I like clean up your grotto and build fountains here for a proposal?
Yeah.
And the nun was like, "Can you be my Prince Charming?" So that was really cute. And so I did it, and it was crazy. I was working like nonstop. I was literally working from 7 to 2:30 every day, or sorry, 6 to 2:30 at my job, and then from 2:30 to 5:30 on this. So like Anne Marie didn't know I was doing all this for like a month, and she was like, "Man, you look really tired." And I was like,
You're exhausted.
"I'm tired," you know.
Yeah.
But it was all worth it. It was amazing. I actually, so when we were going down, I hung these lights from the grotto arches. I'll show you a picture. It was really cool.
Oh yeah, I got to see that.
And
It's dope.
I worked so hard on this. I had not even thought about what I was going to say.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Anne Marie, can you lead the first decade of the Rosary?" And I always lead the first decade. So she was like, she knew something was up. You know.
Yeah.
So when she saw the light, she was like, "Oh, it's happening." We got it all on video and stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. I gotta see
And the
that.
video, so literally, it stopped recording right after she said yes. Because this was back in the days where you had like digital cameras, and they
Right.
only had like 20-minute recording periods.
Yeah.
So our friend that was hiding like played it and ran like hid, and like so if it would have been a minute later, I would have totally missed it.
Oh, thanks to you guys. You guys got
Yeah.
down. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great. So married for 7 years. Great proposal story. One day we'll get a book on how you guys met.
Yes.
The whole relationship and everything. You got 3 kids, beautiful kids.
Thank you.
And we got birthdays coming up tomorrow, right?
Birthday party.
Okay.
Birthday's next week, but yeah.
Next week, the birthday. Okay.
Yeah. So
Perfect. Yeah.
4 years old, man. It's so crazy being a dad
Yeah.
because it's like I think about St. Joseph so often. I'm like, oh, St. Joseph, please help me be more patient like you.
Yes, that's
Because
one of the hardest
I'm a
things.
June baby.
Yeah.
A lot of June babies are impatient, right?
Mm.
I'm like totally sanguine, you know.
Yes.
Or no, sorry, totally choleric. So
okay.
it's very hard and sometimes, you know. But to think that like the way that they see me is like the way they'll see God, you know, and that's where I think it's such a need for men to be virtuous and lead and love properly. You know, I can totally get them to do whatever I want if I'm like a jerk and just very harsh.
Yeah.
But like, does that lead them closer to Christ? Like, no, and it definitely doesn't lead me.
No,
So that's
just,
like my
just
big-
satisfies our will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we get it done and we get it, but was it done like with the most charity?
Sure. Yeah, I read the church fathers and sometimes they talk about the importance of fatherly gentleness, and that's just something I'm trying so hard to do because you know your child acts up, and then like your irascible appetite comes along and your anger is there, and you're like, why aren't you doing what I want you to do? I'm the authority.
Yeah.
But you just you bended the will. You got them to do what you wanted, but was it meritorious?
Yeah.
You know, in a way, was it efficacious? And
That's a good way of saying.
Yeah.
Who wrote about that?
I think St. John Chrysostom.
Can you send that to me?
I will, yeah. He worked
Yeah.
to Chrysostom, and I think St. Alphonsus Liguori wrote one on fathers about being fathers, being gentle.
Yeah.
He did quote a lot of the church fathers. He quotes
Good.
Chrysostom, yeah.
Yeah, I think
Alphonsus quotes everyone.
Yeah. Well, I think so. If we really want to save society, it's done through fatherhood and
Yes.
motherhood, of course. But
yes.
I think fatherhood, especially with the sexual stuff,
Yes.
because so many of these ladies are
Yeah.
like so open to that and like don't really care because like they haven't seen a man love properly. You
Yes.
know? And I
Yeah.
think even like feminism and a lot of like lesbianism and stuff is
Yeah.
due to that. And I'm sure, you know, homosexuality, you know, like
It's the father. Yeah.
yeah, like that makes such a difference. That could be a totally different talk, but
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think you're right. Insofar as I remember when the shooting happened in the Christian school with the transgender in Tennessee, was it? In Tennessee, it was a couple months ago, and all I could think of was somewhere out there was a father who let his I don't know if it was a daughter or a son.
it was a girl.
It was
Yeah.
a girl. Somewhere out there, a father let his daughter down, and we paid for it. And I think that's one thing I think we don't think about when we get into these relationships or when we have children is not only do they belong to God, like Fulton Sheen says that there's a treasure, there's a crown in heaven for every child. Woe to their parents that don't make them aware of that crown. But I think we also have a social contract to help when we build virtue in our children. We're releasing them out to the world so that they can become good citizens, so that they can be, in charity, bring others to Christ.
Yeah.
But when we fail on that, we're sending them out to the world and our failures, and other people are paying the price from our failures.
Wow.
So we're not keeping up our end of the contract in the social kingdom of Christ.
That's interesting. I saw this video the other day about this guy who said like the opposite. Like, I don't care if I got all these girls pregnant. Like, that doesn't mean anything to me.
Yeah.
You know.
Right.
And it's like that social contract concept.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
I think it's so sad. The thing that it's really so terrible to think about is by far across the board, mothers have like this love and devotion to their children and dedication to their children
Yes.
that like fathers are more detached from.
That's so true.
And I think that's really bad. You know, like
yeah.
so
Yeah.
And I'm not perfect by any means,
Right,
you know.
right,
where I'm
right,
like,
right.
Emery,
Yes.
you figure it out. But like, I've
Yeah.
never seen Emery be like, just figure it out, you know, and
Yeah.
like have no, you know, reaction to that. You know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah.
Where I think maybe that's something that we have to like really hone into is that
Sure.
Our wives will never give up on the kids, but like we'll so easily do that because we're tired or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or even when, so I have all boys, and it might be different if I had a girl. I don't know, but I have all boys, and my wife, you know, like they'll fall and they'll scrape their knee or something like that. They'll cry. You know, my wife being the nurturing person would go in, and I'm just like, all right, that's enough. You need to toughen up, walk it off, type thing. I think in a way that some that could be good, but in a way, if they don't learn to receive compassion, how are they going to end up giving it?
I think that's a huge challenge with Christians.
Yeah.
And probably Catholics in particular is like the compassion, the suffering with, right?
Yes. That's what compassion is, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
So if we could like really suffer with these people versus like rashly jumping to conclusions on so many things, I think that would make such a difference.
100%.
I can't tell you, it's so humiliating when I like discipline Dominic when it was actually Michael who did it or something. Or I get mad at one and it was the other, you know?
Yes.
Because I have twins, so twins are easy to mistake.
Yeah, they're great kids.
Yeah, no, they're awesome.
Cool. Yeah, that's really cool, man. I'm glad we got a chance to talk about that, Father. Maybe one day we'll do like we're going deeper.
We should have Eddie and Ben on too.
We should, and we
That'd
should
be
just stream it, and then we'll have some cigars.
Yeah.
We'll just talk about fatherhood, and then we'll get people to watch and give their take, stuff like that.
Yeah, fatherhood's something I really, really want to like focus on. But it's sad. A lot of people, whenever I post like relationship videos or things like that on the Joy of Faith, a bunch of people unsubscribe.
Is that right?
Yeah,
that's weird.
So it's funny, like you know that's not going to stop me from doing them. But
right.
It's very interesting. Like I want to be a part of a faith that is like that cares about being saints in every realm, not just like in prayer.
Yes.
You know, I want that. I want to see people like correspond that.
Right,
you know, and people come to our parish and they're like, those are virtuous people.
Yes. Yeah, that's what we want. And you went to a lot of Nova Sorda parishes growing up, right?
Yeah.
I did too. I was director of youth ministry of Nova Sorda parish.
Mm-hmm.
The youth ministry started a food pantry for the community. We called it the Piero Giorgio ministry. Joe Cunningham, the youth minister before me, started it, and then we continued it. We would have this old garage. We converted it into like this food pantry, and donations just was coming in. We couldn't even keep we couldn't know what to do with the stuff. And people on Sundays they would come in after mass, and communities would come in and they take whatever they want for free. And you know, we'd have turkeys and Thanksgiving. It was a big thing.
That's great.
And I thought to myself, I was like, the corporal works of mercy is so hyper focused in the Nova Sorda parishes and dioceses. And I made a joke. It's a joke because I love my brothers and sisters in the TLM. But my joke is the traditionalists, the only spiritual work of mercy they focus on is admonishing the sinner. Isn't that funny?
That is so true.
Yeah, that's all we admonish the sinner.
Yeah.
That's all we do is admonish the sinner. But I think that that's such a fringe minority that we see in Twitter.
Oh yeah.
If you go onto the pews and to the communities like ours,
it's awesome.
I've never met greater people than I've met, Kentucky.
Oh yeah. Every single week we have someone over from our church or someone's having us over.
Isn't that cool?
You know, like out of this month, like almost every single week, and we're together with one of the families.
Well, is that great? Yeah, it's so cool. Like everybody, they want to get together. You know, everybody. So everybody wants to get together, and everybody wants to hang out. And I met so many good. Shout out to the Lacasses, the Chupalas, the Radicans. Shout out to Todd, the Birds, right?
Yeah.
Shout out to you guys. Shout out to everybody in that parish. I'm just the coolest people.
Oh, it's amazing.
The Tuckers,
I'm like, man, I never want it to end.
Yeah,
you know,
the Rudolph. Shout out to Chad.
Yes.
Chad's one of the coolest guys I've met.
Chad's great.
Yeah.
We used to hang out with them like every single day.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's such a cool guy. I like Chad a lot. So, moving on with the last thing, with faith. Talk faith real quick. You said 11 years ago you attended the TLM.
Yes.
Before, you were there before it was cool. All right.
OG.
You're the OG guy, right? Absolutely, yeah. So I got in 2016. So for me, it was about 7 years ago. So you were there before me in the TLM. What got you? Was it that car ride with your friends that got you there?
Yeah, that got me there. But what kept me there was there's Steve King, right? He walked me through the Latin Mass and how that translated to the English Mass, right? And gave me like the history on it. I didn't know any of that. Right. I didn't know that Mass was in Latin for Padre Pio and Saint Therese and all these great saints, right? So when I did that, and then we had Father Gordon, who was an awesome priest.
It was in the Apostles.
Yeah, and he was so. He was like a merchant marine or something like that, and he was so precise with all of his movements and so holy, and the best confessor ever. So that was really powerful.
God bless you, Allison. Been attending TLM since 2006.
Oh,
now that's OG.
There we go. That's
what we call a triple OG.
There we go.
That's amazing stuff. So that's great. And were you hooked the first time, or did it take a few times?
I was super mad afterwards. I was like, "What is this?" It was like a whole new world that I thought was like. I just had no clue what it was.
Yeah.
So it took me like 3 months to actually like it.
3 months?
Yeah, because for 3 months, like, if you go to Latin Mass, don't just let people just struggle and never help them or offer to help them.
Right.
Because I was one of those people that had no clue what was going on and no one would help me. And I was like, this stinks, you know? So by going out and helping people follow along and things like that, it goes a long way.
And you have to learn it too in order to do that.
Exactly.
That gets you into the faith more, into the liturgy, and understanding what's going on.
Yes.
Because you can't teach what you don't know.
Exactly. So
that makes sense.
Steve King walked me down and walked me through it, and I was like, oh, this makes sense now.
Yeah.
And then the homilies were so great, and the chant was so good, and the organ, and it was just all of it like came together so well.
Right. Yeah. The bells and whistles draw you in.
And it's ordered properly. So I'm an engineer, right?
Yeah.
So I liked seeing how everything made sense.
Right.
And that was so awesome to see. For example, Ben's wife.
Yeah.
She wasn't Catholic.
That's right.
And like she went to Latin Mass for a couple months, and been going to English Mass for like 6 years.
Yeah.
And then when she did that, she was like, for a couple months, she was like, it all makes sense now. I'm ready to convert. You know.
Isn't that funny?
No one said anything. It was just it happened.
Yeah.
Because it all makes sense, and that's like I like structure. Like literally, we studied crystal structures of metal for like years.
Right.
So it's like obviously it's different, but that was just so awesome, and I love the masculine nature of it.
Right.
Because I never liked praise and worship. I know some people really like it.
Sure.
So I'm not dogging on them. And
no,
I don't think
I'll dog on them for you. I'm just
I don't think we should really dog on them. But regardless, I used to I'd go to the Steubenville things and I'd be laughing because they'd be singing all these songs. I was like, this is so girly, you know. So I didn't know that much, but I was like, I know I don't like this, and this is not masculine. So when I saw this masculine faith, I was like, wow. And then Fulton Sheen, you know, of course, I found him, and it was like, wow.
It was over.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like how you said that there's a masculine aspect of it, but the structure, it all makes sense. Yes, I think you're right. It all makes sense.
Now, with that being said, my favorite song is "Oh God Beyond All Praising."
Okay.
So.
Well, there you go.
I'll take that over Latin because that's such a powerful song.
It's a good hymn, right?
Yeah. And then after that is like Adorate
Devote. That's my favorite hymn.
Is it? Maria falls to sleep to that every day.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a Thomistic hymn.
Mm-hmm.
St. Thomas wrote that. Wow, that's beautiful. I mean, how could you go wrong with St. Thomas, right?
I know.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk about really quickly. How did you start Joy of Faith? Like, what did it all come?
So I led. It's funny because I used to the Newman. We had the University of Kentucky had a Newman Center, right? And the Focus Missionaries, they were always trying to have people start Bible studies.
Yeah.
And I remember saying to my brother, I will never do a Bible study, you know, because they were asking him to do a Bible study.
Is that right?
And then like a month later, I was in adoration, and God was like, you got to start a Bible study. And I was like, seriously? So I was thinking about what to do it on. And then all of a sudden, it was just like, do it on the rosary, you know, like go through the mysteries of the rosary and scripture and stuff. So I did that.
Yeah.
We started out with like 3 guys, and I would just like say hi to people after Mass, be like, come to my study. And it ended up like at the end, we had like 30 guys. It was awesome.
Is that right?
Yeah. No, at the Newman Center.
So every week.
Yeah, every week. So it was really awesome, very powerful. My brother, like his life has changed from that. He started going to like daily Mass and adoration.
Beautiful.
It was really cool. Because he was like, Ray, I didn't know we're supposed to meditate on the mysteries of the Rosary while we prayed it, right? So that is important. Yeah. And that study really stressed that.
Right.
And then he went off to Ireland to be a missionary for like a year.
One Bible study did all that.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah.
So
So you falling flat on your face, riding a bike, is what started all that.
Yeah, it was one of those studies.
Okay.
And then I did 2 more studies. One of them
Yeah.
was on the next year we did on the sacraments.
Yeah.
And what the early Christians said about it, and that was awesome.
Yeah.
And then we did one on like the whole Bible. It was really awesome. And so my wife was saying, because I used to work, I had a sweet schedule. I worked 4 10s.
Yeah.
So like 4 days a week, 10 hours a day.
Right.
But I would work Monday through Thursday and then be off Friday through Monday and then work Tuesday through Friday.
Yeah.
So alternating 4-day weekends.
That's not
Which
bad.
was awesome.
That's really cool.
And on those 4-day weekends, one of those days, the whole day, I would just sit there and listen to Scott Hahn and Catholic Answers and every apologist
Yeah.
and like go through all the sacraments and every resource out there to like, combine all this.
Shout out to Scott Hahn, the
Yeah.
Catholic Answers, Trent Horn.
Amazing.
They-
I love Trent Horn. I want to collab with him sometime.
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
Yeah.
They put together like a Catholic nowadays cannot be ignorant of his faith and cannot say I can't defend it. Thanks to Carl Keaton, who started Catholic
Yeah,
Answers,
exactly.
and those guys.
Oh, 100%.
Thanks Staples and Horn. And,
Yeah.
and
Tim
so
Staples is great.
yeah, shout out to those guys. Shout out to everybody who's really doing great. But you recently, so your YouTube channel, I noticed that. Now, go ahead.
Can I finish this?
Please. Yeah.
Don't forget what you're gonna say though.
Yeah.
So my wife said, Ray, you gotta make some videos on this
Yeah.
because you're gonna forget the stuff. And I was like, I'm not gonna forget it. And sure enough, I forgot it. And then I was like, oh shoot. So I had all my stuff, so I made these videos, and it just started as like an apologetics thing, and then it really grew. And then I did that communion rail video, and I met Taylor Marshall, and that kind of blew up. And
Right.
It led to all these other things. So
Right. Yeah, you got on Marshall. Did he reach out to you?
yeah, one of the priests from EWTN was like, hey Taylor, have you seen this? He's like, you want to come on my show? And I was like, yeah, sure. So
Yeah.
I did that. Then I did a video on the Shred of Turin, and that was the first video to reach 100,000 views.
Beautiful.
And that was awesome.
Beautiful.
And it was cool because I actually did a 54-day rosary novena that ended on Easter when I released that video.
Powerful video.
And I did it so that the intention was to reach Catholics, right?
Yes.
With like the truth, and hopefully to speak at a Sikh conference like the Focus ones, right?
Right.
But this reached more people than I'd ever reached at a Sikh conference, So that was really amazing, and then just kind of going from there.
It's beautiful. And what I like about your video or your YouTube channel is you'll put out a video there's no rhyme or reason. It's not like every week. It's not once. You'll put out a video and it comes out and it's like masterfully done because you spent some time on it, and then you.
Yeah. I mean, it's been really interesting. Like, it's been such a humbling thing to like have videos that like reach so many people, and you put so much effort into it. And you're like, yes, thank you, God, right? Like, but then you work so hard on other videos, and like it doesn't reach as many people.
Yes, my Instagram does that.
Yeah.
I spent 45 minutes on a video one time, and I was putting it all together. I'm like, this is gonna be great. I threw it in there. It did okay. And the other day, I have one song called "That Ain't Catholic."
Yeah, I love that.
I'm
one.
pro-choice and I'm Catholic, right? So not. All I did was I had like some like Catholics for Choice and like some of like the heretical leftist Catholic, and all I did was like put that song on and just pointing. That's not Catholic, right?
Yeah.
So that was one of my. That took me about 5 minutes to make, and it like doubled.
No way.
The likes and the views than the ones I worked on for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
So I see.
I know. Isn't that crazy?
You just don't know. You never know what's gonna.
Like as the scripture says, like God provides the growth.
Yeah,
So
just put it out there.
my number one video actually is the Carlo Acutis video. It almost has 1 million views.
Get out.
Yeah, it's like 900 and something K. And I
Get it to 1 million. Let's get it to 1 million. Yeah.
I literally, I think it took 20 minutes to make, but then it took like 10 minutes to post, and we were going to Outback Steakhouse. It was the Feast of St. Therese, and that's Anne-Marie's confirmation saint, and she was getting impatient. I was like, Anne-Marie, I got to get this out.
Yeah.
It's going to go viral.
Yeah.
And sure enough, like 900,000 views later.
It did. Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah, I have your YouTube page linked in.
Oh, great.
I want as many people going on this because you put out great videos, and they're meaningful. It's not just you don't go out live every single day and talk about the current thing.
No.
They're well put together and they're masterful, so which is great.
Appreciate it.
Which then talk about the last project you're doing. You're making a movie.
I am.
With a Hollywood director.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah, so Angelo Labudi,
Yeah.
shout out to Angelo.
Shout out to Angelo.
He's in Los Angeles, and we're making a movie on Eucharistic miracles.
Yes.
With a live action element, so we go through all the Bible passages related to.
Shout out to Rob, right?
Yeah, Rob Renzi. I was going to try to get Fawaz out to be a Pharisee. Look at that.
I was the perfect. What was his name? The guy who split his clothes. I forgot his name. In the scripture. I forgot his name, but yeah, I would have been the perfect Pharisee. I got the Pharisee beard.
Yeah, no, that would be great.
Yeah,
but we got some other good Pharisees, but none of them look as good as you.
Right? You guys also got you got Dom, right?
Yeah, Dom Razzo.
Dom's
Shout
a
out
cool
to Dom,
guy.
he's awesome.
Yeah.
Andy Davley, Tom Plunkett. There's so many great guys. So it's been a really blessing, and like that's been so cool because I feel like I used to think like, oh, people out in California, like it must be so hard to be Catholic out there. There's so many great Catholics out there.
Big time. I mean, the Diocese of Los Angeles is gigantic.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah. Isn't it the biggest diocese in the country?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the biggest in the world too. So,
is that right?
Yeah.
Shout out to the Hispanics.
Yeah, exactly. They're representing there.
Exactly.
But yeah, so that's been quite a journey.
Yeah.
Gosh, that could be its own episode in and of itself.
It could be. But tell us all the people you've met because of that movie.
Oh man, so many.
Yeah.
So
go down the list.
Father Ripperger, of course. Father Calloway.
Yeah.
Lila Rose, Dr. Stacy Jersenkos, Bishop Strickland, Tim Staples, Cardinal Lorenzi, and then all the priests that were involved with the investigations. Several of the doctors that were involved with the investigations. It's just been amazing.
This thing is going to be so powerful.
Carlo Acutis' mother.
Wow. Yeah, so that's right. Yeah.
It's been really awesome. Please pray for us and spread the word on that because making movies is so expensive. Like I didn't realize how expensive it was. Like we spent over $10,000 on just insurance for filming. Right.
Wow.
Some of these locations were $30,000 a day.
Right.
You know.
Something that would deter you from even like you just give up. You go, this is too much, but you guys kept pushing.
Yeah, we kept pushing, and we literally filmed live action for a year. You know, we started to the date. We started October 28th, 2021. Ended October 28th, 2022.
Yeah.
And we had Tanner Kalina from Ascension presents.
Sure.
Awesome actor.
Yeah.
So just so many great people.
Beautiful.
And so pray for us that like God will provide a donor to help us drive this to fruition. And
absolutely,
if you could donate, that would be awesome. Tax deductible, so that's helpful.
Absolutely, yeah. So I'll add the website to the description.
That'd be great.
We'll push this as much as we can. Who was your favorite person that you met?
Father Ripperger.
Is it Father R?
Yeah. He was so awesome. Just so interested and funny, and I've listened to him for so many years. To meet him in person was really great.
Yeah.
After him, probably Father Calloway and Bishop Strickland. They were amazing.
Yeah, cool guys.
I met so many great people.
Yeah, you met Father Mike Schmitz too, right?
I met him earlier.
Okay.
We haven't filled him for the movie yet. Hopefully, we'll get him in.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone loves Father Mike.
Oh yeah.
Father Mike's cool guy.
Oh, Scott Hahn too.
You got Scott Hahn.
That was so much fun filming.
Gotta get Scott Hahn, right?
Yeah, we filmed at his house and all these things.
Yeah, the compliment. Everything.
Yeah.
The compliment, right? Yeah, that's Scott Hahn. My poor Scott Hahn impression. Right?
No.
Yeah. So continuing on with faith, we're gonna just play a quick game.
Okay.
Desert island. You're stuck in an island. You can only bring 3 Catholic books with you, including the scriptures if you want to add the Bible. What are you bringing with you? That's all you can read. Those 3 Catholic books for the rest of your life.
Definitely the scriptures,
okay.
And then Fulfillment of All Desire by Ralph Martin.
Okay.
And then Life of Christ by Walton Sheen.
That's a great book. Life of Christ. That's a thick book.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you remember that part blew me away about the symphony? It's close to the beginning. In that book, he talks about
grabbing the note.
The note.
Yeah.
And how if the off note goes out, you start the new symphony with the off note. Now isn't that cool?
Oh, it's so
brilliant.
I love how he said that.
It is so brilliant. Yeah.
Have you read A Priest Is Not His Own by Walton Sheen?
Priest Is Not His Own. No.
You should read it. It's really good.
Is that right? Okay.
Alan, I forgot what was Al Smith.
Okay.
Is on the cause for Walton Sheen, and he's amazing.
Okay.
And he said, read that book, whether you're a priest or not. And it's amazing.
Beautiful. Yeah, anything from Sheen, like Fulton Sheen and St. Alphonsus, to me, when I read their stuff, it's clear.
Oh yeah.
It's to the point, and they know how to take what's up here and bring it down to my level so I can understand it.
And that's what I try to do with the Eucharistic miracles, right? And the Shroud of Turin is like to take this stuff that's like so up there and hard to reach and understand and bring it down.
Okay.
I'm not a specialist in any of that, right?
Sure.
But
I learn so much through the movie, throughout the
exactly.
research, right?
And I have doctors to like reference, and my father-in-law's a cardiologist, so all these things are really great.
Okay, so if you could bring one saint in history to interview on your YouTube channel, who would you bring? Who would you bring back?
Paul.
St. Paul.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so it's interesting. Yeah.
Of course, other than Fulton Sheen. Like Fulton Sheen were there, I totally do.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So St. Paul is the one that you want to interview the most. Yeah, I mean,
he's
so
my
hardcore,
favorite. So I'd love to see that.
Also the Gentiles, huh?
Yeah. I mean, Peter would be great too, but I feel like Paul is so fiery. It'd just be great to pick his brain.
Right.
Like so many things that he's written, I've been like how he could write.
Yeah.
But by the grace of God, I am who I am. Right.
Yeah.
He talks. I'm like one of the least apostles, like not even worthy of being an apostle.
Yeah.
But by the grace of God, I am.
His humility was insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's great humility. Yeah. But he has some anger issues too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe I like that too, right?
Yeah. I think it was righteous anger.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he was rightly ordered. I think.
It'd be nice to see that because I don't think I've ever really seen a rightly ordered righteous anger. Like so many people get on, but like I'm righteously angry right now.
Right.
And I'm like, are you? You know, like
right. Yeah.
Maybe you are, but
Yeah.
I just like to see it from a saint. You know.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, Christ was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Like that'd be awesome.
Yeah. Exactly. Watching him flip.
Yeah.
And call.
That was the reading the other day. And I
call
was
them the
boys.
root of vipers. Right?
Yeah.
Call the. So, my other question is, she's not a saint yet. He's venerable, which I think he should have been a saint a long time ago. Because I'm thinking to myself, I don't question canonizations from the church because I'm not the hierarchy nor the magisterium. But it seems to me like a lot of times there's a cult following or some type of following or devotion to a certain personality before they're made a saint. And I didn't see that in St. Paul VI.
No.
I didn't see that. A friend of mine said that I think one of his, it was in Rome, or I think one of his relics was brought and somewhere, and the priest was kind of frustrated that people would come in and they saw whose relic it was and they would just walk out. They would just walk by. People didn't even know who he, like, they're not like, oh, Paul VI did this or that. It just didn't have a devotion to them at all.
Yeah, like the cult wasn't there.
The cult wasn't there, but for Sheen it is.
I know. There's so many
For
things.
Chesterton there is.
Yeah.
Even for Leo the 13th there is.
Oh, I know. How is he not a saint?
Right. But then Paul VI. So
it's this like, I think it's a desire to like canonize all recent popes.
I think so. I think it is. Yeah.
But I do personally believe
Yeah.
that just Pope Paul VI, Radical Vitae, deserves sainthood.
Sure.
Maybe that's too weak of an opinion.
No, that's fine. Yeah, not questioning the church's decision to make him saint.
Yeah.
If they say he's a saint, I'm going to say he's a saint.
Oh yeah.
St. John Paul II.
Oh yeah.
All of them, which is fine. I think
Yeah,
Benedict is next. You know he's next.
Yeah. I mean, I love Benedict.
Me too. I like B16.
But,
I came in the church when he started his reign.
Oh yeah.
2005. I came back to the faith.
That's great.
So around there, 2006. So, and then because Fulton's not a saint, who is your favorite saint until he becomes a saint?
Oh, Padre Pio.
Saint Pio.
Yeah, I always love like the supernatural nature of him and how you can see him and like so. And it's cool. Angelo's godfather was his assistant. You know, so
is that right?
Yeah.
Wow. I think his assistant was on Reason and Theology. Shout out to Michael.
Yeah,
Michael Often had him on. And so
I'm interested to see that movie.
You want to see it?
I don't know if I'm going to see it because I've heard mixed things.
I'm hearing horrible things as
the
days come along.
So maybe I shouldn't see it.
My favorite Catholic movie of all time is Padre Pio, The Miracle.
Yeah, that's a great one, isn't it?
The Italian one.
Oh yeah.
I picked that up with The Passion.
Whoa, really?
I do, yeah.
Dang.
For me, at least.
That's pretty crazy.
That's because I've seen so many Christ movies.
Yeah.
The Passion is the best Jesus movie ever made, I think, by far, not even close. But St. Pio is like my top 3 favorite saints of all time. And to have a movie depicted about him, to be there with that,
looked like him too.
Looked like him, acted perfectly. It went through his childhood, his middle life, his later on. I thought it was perfect. It's a good movie. Last question. I always ask this question to every single person. Last question. It's 2025. The Holy Father has passed away, Pope Francis.
I know what you're gonna say.
Oh yeah, oh, I'm coming.
I'm taking out.
Okay, what do you got? What's your what is your pontificate name?
Oh,
What are you picking?
That's a tough one.
That is a tough one.
I think I'm gonna do Pius because there's so many good Pius.
The 13th.
Yeah.
Pius the 13th. Okay.
So I would say every liturgy has to be, maybe not every, but like 90% of the liturgies are TLM or Eastern Rite.
Okay.
I think some people really do get great benefit out of Novus Ordo, but
Sure.
I think overall, every church, no matter what, the Gloria is in Latin and chanted beautifully.
Okay.
And then no communion on the hand, unless there's some grave circumstance. Everyone kneels at the altar rail,
Okay.
and all liturgies are ad orientem, even Mary Not Right.
Okay, so you're going to be implementing Sacrosanctum Concilium.
Yeah, basically.
In a way, you're doing that, and you're enforcing what the documents said in Vatican II, which is what we should be doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because what's the point? I've always said this. What's the point? Why do we always refer back to the documents of the council if what we're seeing is not what matches to what came out?
On that line, I would say maybe I would create maybe I would take the Novus Ordo and basically make it the Latin Mass, but have the new calendar still, except for ordinary time. I get rid of ordinary time for sure. I would get back to the old calendar, but I would still have the readings in English or the vernacular in that cycle, because I do think that's kind of nice.
That's a cool. Right?
Although I would add Ephesians 5 to the actual readings. I would say take the bracket option away.
Makes sense.
You know?
Yeah.
Get hardcore what is helpful, like 1 Corinthians 11:27. That was taken out. You have to eat and drink. Discern the Bible before you eat and drink.
Yeah, damnation upon yourself if you do it the wrong. Yeah, no, I love it, and because we hear it all the time. You hear her saying, why is the Mass this way? But the document says, and to me, it sounds like when people say, this husband treats his wife horribly, but the marriage document is valid. Like that cannot be that can't be the answer. We can't always say that the marriage was valid. It doesn't matter how he treats her, but the marriage is valid. We can't sit there and say it doesn't matter how horrible sometimes these common masses are becoming.
Yeah,
Sacrosanctum Concilium was great. It's like implement what is great.
Yeah,
and then you'll see the fruit off of that.
100%.
Yeah, I think.
Other thing I would do is I would mandate at least 2 other rites in every diocese in the country or the world.
Okay.
Because I believe the more rites there are, the more people can gravitate to those. As I mentioned before,
in the early church we had that, right? There were so many different rites. Yeah.
So also, if I were the Pope, I'd try to meet with a lot more people.
Okay.
I know. Some people are the Pope should always pray, but it makes such a difference. Having an audience makes a lot of difference, even if it's 10 minutes.
Makes sense. Yeah. So that'd be cool. Like a little TOB thing where you would meet with people on a weekly basis, and
especially fallen away Catholic celebrities, which there are so many. As I said before, I used to look these people up. Yeah. 80% of them fallen away Catholics.
And they'd meet you because you're the Pope.
Exactly.
Yeah. Right.
And I'd be like, look, this is the truth.
Pius the 13th. Pius the 13th is coming, guys. He's coming. That's really cool. And then final question. You're on your deathbed, God forbid, it's not anytime soon. Hopefully you live to 100 and live a holy and happy life and a happy death. But you're on your deathbed and they say you could bring any clergy living today, right now, to administer your last rites and give you extreme unction. Who you got?
Father Ripperger and Father Mike.
You bring them both together. Yeah, that'd be cool.
I'd be like, Father Mike, you could say the prayers, and Father Ripperger, you'll do the apostolic part of it.
Yeah. Father Ripperger would be cool.
Yeah. So maybe I would have Father Ripperger do that, and then Father Mike do my funeral mass.
Oh, there you
go. I would ask him to do the Latin Mass,
Well,
maybe he would preach. Maybe he would preach, and Father Ripperger would say the Mass.
He would have a choice because at this point you're Pope.
Yes.
And he would just say the Mass that you've already promulgated, right?
Yeah.
Hey, brother.
Yes, it's been great
so much for coming on. God bless you guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for coming on, man.
Yes.
This was a blast. This was my first in studio. Check out Joy of Faith website, Joy of Faith YouTube channel.
Yeah. And then EucharisticMiraclesMovie.com.
And donate if you can. Spread the word. Let's get this movie out. There was great success with the Mass of the Ages documentary, but I think a Eucharistic one can reach more people, as far as people outside the faith.
Oh yeah.
Because I think Mass of the Ages
is very like Catholic focused.
Very Catholic focused.
Yeah.
But this one, I think you can grab a lot of people who
That's our
could
main.
be interested.
Yeah.
Atheists, agnostics, anybody, I think could really be the benefit from that. All right.
Indeed.
Yeah. God bless you guys. Thanks again. Peace out.